Two women, both 74, both 5'4", both weigh exactly 150 pounds. Step on the same scale, get the same number, go home feeling the same way about themselves. One of them will still be carrying her own groceries at 85. The other will be in a facility in 5 years because she will fall and break a hip and never get back up from it. Same number, same scale, and the scale cannot tell them apart. It never could, because the scale measures how much of you there is. It has never once told you what you are made of. I am Dr. Patterson, 15 years of practice, and I want to tell you about the worst advice your generation was ever given, which is that after 60, you should be eating less, smaller portions, watch your weight, cut back. And people follow it faithfully, and the number on the scale goes down, and everybody congratulates them, and what they have actually lost is the muscle that was holding their life up. Today, I am giving you the 5 foods to eat every day for muscle, not for weight, not for your waistline, for the tissue that decides whether you get out of a chair by yourself at 85. We count down from 5 to 1, and number 1 is the food your generation was specifically told to cut back on for 40 years. Advice that, for a person your age, has almost certainly done more harm than good. But watch for number 3 especially, because number 3 comes with a piece of information that changes everything else on this list. Most of you are not eating too little protein. You are eating it all at the wrong time, and it means your body is getting 1 signal a day when it needs 3. That single fix costs you nothing, and it may be the most useful thing in this video. Before we start, tell me in the comments what you ate for breakfast today. Just that. I read every one. And I promise you, I already have a suspicion. And by number 3, you will know why I asked. And one thing while we are here, everything I am about to tell you is part of a bigger picture, the small daily habits that decide whether you are strong at 80 or managing at 70. I took everything I tell my own patients and put it into one simple plan. If you want it, the link is right there on your screen whenever you are ready. Now let me tell you what is actually happening to your muscle, because once you see it, all 5 make sense. The tissue nobody told you to defend. Here is the thing about muscle that almost nobody explains. After about 30, you start losing it, somewhere in the range of 3 to 8% every decade, and it accelerates after 60. Doctors call it sarcopenia, and it is not a disease you catch. It is the default. It is what happens if you do nothing, and it does not take the muscle evenly. It comes for the big movers first, your thighs, your backside, and it takes the fast fibers first, the ones you do not use for walking, but for catching yourself. So the tissue that disappears first is the exact tissue that saves you when you trip. Now here is why that number on your scale is lying to you. As muscle leaves, fat very often moves in and takes the space. Same weight, same clothes, more or less. Completely different person underneath. There is even a name for it when it goes far enough, sarcopenic obesity. And it is the worst of both worlds. And the scale is silent about all of it. And muscle is not just for lifting. It is where your body parks blood sugar after a meal. Less muscle means nowhere to put it, which is a straight road to insulin resistance and diabetes. It is your reserve when you get sick. An older person with muscle survives a hospital stay and walks out. An older person without it goes in for pneumonia and comes out unable to stand. It is the difference between a stumble and a fall, and between a fall and a hip. So here is the honest picture. After 60, the fight is not against the scale. The fight is to hold on to the tissue, and that takes 2 things and only 2 things. A reason to build, that is resistance, load, the chair work I have shown you before, and something to build out of. That second thing is protein, and that is what today is about. Now, the part that will make you angry. There is an official recommended amount of protein, and it is set at about 0.8 grams per kilogram of body weight. That number was worked out largely to stop healthy young adults from wasting away. It is a floor. It was never a target for a 74-year-old trying to hold on to her thighs. And a lot of specialists in this field have argued for years that older adults need meaningfully more than that. The expert groups looking specifically at aging generally land closer to 1.0 to 1.2 grams per kilogram and higher during illness or recovery. In plain numbers, for a person around 150 pounds, that is somewhere in the neighborhood of 70 to 85 grams a day rather than 55. And there is a reason the number has to go up, and it has a name: anabolic resistance. It means aging muscle has gone slightly deaf. Give a 25-year-old a small amount of protein and his muscle answers immediately. Give a 75-year-old the same amount and nothing happens. The signal is too quiet. The muscle does not hear it. So you have to knock louder, a bigger dose, in one sitting to get the same answer. Hold on to that phrase, knock louder, because it is the whole reason number 3 matters. Let us start at number 5. Number 5, beans and lentils. We start with the cheapest protein in the store, and I am putting it at number 5 rather than higher for a reason I will be honest about. Beans and lentils are genuinely good for you. Protein, fiber, slow carbohydrate, potassium, iron, and they cost almost nothing. A bag of lentils feeds a person for a week. They carry that slow, steady carbohydrate that does not spike your blood sugar, and they are filling in a way that keeps you away from the biscuit tin at 4 in the afternoon. If you are on a fixed income and protein feels expensive, this is your friend. Here is the honest part. For building muscle specifically, plant proteins are not the equal of animal proteins, and I am not going to pretend otherwise for anyone's comfort. 2 reasons. First, the amino acid profile. Muscle responds most strongly to one particular amino acid called leucine. Think of leucine as the doorbell. It is what actually tells the muscle to start building, and plant proteins carry less of it than meat, fish, eggs, or dairy. Second, less of the protein in a bean actually makes it into you. More of it passes through. So it is not that beans do not count, it is that they count for less. And after 60, with that deaf muscle, you need to knock loudly. That means if beans are your main protein, you simply need more of them than the label suggests, and you need to combine them, beans with rice, lentils with bread, hummus with pita, because together they cover the gaps that either one has alone. Half a cup to a cup of cooked lentils or beans a day, in a soup, a stew, or a cold salad. Cheap, filling, genuinely good. Just do not count on them alone to do the whole job. Number 4, eggs. Number 4 is the food your doctor spent 30 years telling you to be careful with, and it turns out to be one of the best things you can put in an aging body. An egg is close to the perfect protein. It has every amino acid you need in the right proportions, and it is one of the most usable proteins we have ever measured. Your body absorbs and uses almost all of it. And it is loaded with leucine, the doorbell. Now, the cholesterol thing. For decades, people over 60 were told to limit eggs, and the science moved and the guidance moved with it, and for most people, the cholesterol you eat has far less effect on your blood cholesterol than everyone assumed. The advice changed. Nobody called your generation to tell you. And here is what makes eggs particularly good for someone your age, and it is not glamorous. They are soft, they are easy to chew, they cost almost nothing, they need no preparation to speak of, they do not require teeth you may not have anymore, or a budget you may not have anymore, or the energy to cook a real meal at 7 in the evening when you live alone and cooking for one feels pointless. 2 eggs is around 12 grams of protein and about 4 minutes of your life. 2 or 3 whole eggs, yolk included. Scramble them, boil a batch on Sunday, and keep them in the refrigerator for the week. Fold in some spinach. One honest note: if you have been told you have familial hypercholesterolemia, or your doctor has specifically told you to limit eggs for a reason particular to you, listen to them, not to me. They know things about you that I do not. Number 3. Greek yogurt and cottage cheese. Here is the one I told you to watch for, and it is not really about the yogurt. It is about the thing the yogurt fixes. Let me ask you the question from the beginning of this video again. What did you eat for breakfast? I will guess. Toast, a bowl of cereal, coffee, and something small. Maybe a banana, maybe nothing at all, because you are not hungry in the morning anymore, and it seems silly to bother. That breakfast has somewhere between 5 and 10 grams of protein in it. Now think about your dinner, the real meal, the chicken or the fish or the chop, in the evening when you actually sit down. That might be 40, 50, 60 grams. So look at the shape of your day, almost nothing, a bit more, then a mountain, and here is why that shape is the problem, and it is the single most useful thing I can tell you today. Muscle building is not a daily total. Your body does not add up your grams at midnight and pay out accordingly. It is triggered per meal. Each time you eat, either you clear the threshold and your muscle switches on and starts building, or you do not, and nothing happens at all. Nothing. The protein gets used for something else, and the moment passes. And because of anabolic resistance, the deaf muscle, that threshold is higher for you than it was at 30. The research keeps landing in the same neighborhood, somewhere around 25 to 30 grams of protein in one sitting, with a good slug of leucine in it to reliably switch an older person's muscle on. So run your day again. Breakfast, 8 grams, nothing happens. Lunch, 15 grams, nothing happens. Dinner, 55 grams, something happens. And the extra beyond the threshold is largely wasted because you cannot bank it. One signal, all day. You had 3 chances and you took 1. This is why so many people over 60 are eating what looks like a reasonable amount of protein and losing muscle anyway. It is not the total, it is the shape. You do not have a quantity problem, you have a distribution problem, and nobody has ever mentioned it to you, and it costs nothing to fix, which is where the yogurt comes in. Because you need something that puts 25 to 30 grams of protein into your morning, requires no cooking, needs no chewing to speak of, and works when you are not even hungry. Plain Greek yogurt, not the fruit kind, which is a dessert with a health halo. A cup of plain Greek yogurt is roughly 20 grams of protein, sometimes more. Cottage cheese is right there with it and is often cheaper. Either one, with a handful of berries and some chopped nuts, and you have crossed the threshold before 8 in the morning, and your muscle got a signal it has not had in years. And there is a bonus. The main protein in dairy is casein, and casein digests slowly. It trickles amino acids in over hours rather than dumping them all at once. That makes cottage cheese one of the genuinely good things to eat before bed, feeding your muscle through the night, which is the longest stretch of the day when you are getting nothing at all. That is number 3. Fix breakfast. Everything else on this list works better once you do. Quick pause, because this is the natural spot. If nobody has ever told you that when you eat your protein matters as much as how much, tap that like button and subscribe. It honestly helps this reach more people over 60. And go back and tell me in the comments what your breakfast was, now that you know why I asked. Now, back to the countdown. Number 2, fatty fish. Number 2 is salmon, mackerel, sardines, and herring, and it earns its spot for a reason that has nothing to do with the protein in it. Yes, it is excellent protein, but every food on this list has protein. What fish has that the others do not is the omega-3 fats, EPA and DHA, and here is why that matters for muscle specifically. Remember anabolic resistance, the deaf muscle. A big part of what causes it is chronic, low-grade inflammation. Your body quietly inflamed year after year, and that inflammation physically interferes with the signal at the surface of the muscle cell. The doorbell rings and nobody comes. Omega-3 fats are among the most powerful, natural, anti-inflammatory compounds we know of. And there is genuinely interesting research suggesting they do more than calm inflammation. That omega-3 supplementation in older adults can actually make muscle more responsive to protein. In some studies, older adults given omega-3s over a period of months had better muscle protein synthesis in response to the same amount of protein and better gains in strength and muscle size when it was paired with training. Think about what that means. It is not another brick. It is turning the hearing aid up so the muscle can hear the protein you are already eating. I will be honest, that research is still developing and I am not going to oversell it. But 2 servings a week is standard advice for your heart and your brain anyway, and the muscle angle is a genuine bonus. 2 servings a week, about the size of your palm. And if fresh salmon is out of your budget, and for a lot of people it is, canned sardines and canned mackerel are some of the cheapest, most powerful foods in this entire video. Sardines come with the soft bones in, which means you are getting calcium at the same time. On toast, mashed with a bit of lemon. A tin costs less than a coffee. Number 1, lean meat and poultry. And here is number 1. And I want to be careful and honest because this is the one where your generation got advice that I think genuinely hurt you. For about 40 years, people your age were told to cut back on meat. Red meat, especially. It was the villain. And a lot of you listened. You are exactly the generation that did listen. And you gradually became people who eat a small piece of chicken twice a week and feel virtuous about it. Here is what nobody accounted for. Meat is the most efficient muscle-building food there is. It has the highest leucine density, the loudest doorbell. It is the most bioavailable, your body actually uses it. And it carries the two things older adults are most likely to be short of, B12, which we have talked about, and iron in the form your body absorbs best. So the advice that was aimed at protecting your heart at 45 has, for a lot of you, quietly starved your muscle at 75. And the fall that follows from having no thighs left is not a smaller problem than the one we were trying to prevent. Now let me be precise because this is exactly where a video like this could lie to you. There is a real and important difference between fresh, unprocessed meat and processed meat. Bacon, sausage, ham, salami, hot dogs, deli meats, those are a genuinely different category with genuinely different evidence behind them, and the concerns about them are real. Nothing I am saying gives you permission to eat a pound of bacon. What I am talking about is fresh, lean, unprocessed meat. Chicken, turkey, and yes, lean beef or lamb once or twice a week. A palm-sized piece is roughly 25 to 30 grams of protein, which, if you were paying attention at number 3, is exactly the threshold. One serving, one signal, reliably. And if you do not eat meat, for your health, your beliefs, or because you simply do not like it, you are not stuck. Eggs, dairy, and fish do this job. You just have to be deliberate about it rather than assuming it will happen on its own, because for you, it will not. The sixth thing, and it is not a food. Before I tell you about Marjorie, I have to tell you the thing that makes all 5 of these worthless without it. Protein is building material. It is bricks. And if you deliver bricks to a building site where nobody has ordered any construction, they sit in the yard. Your body does not build muscle because protein arrived. It builds muscle because something demanded it, and the protein was there to answer. That demand is resistance, load, asking a muscle to do something hard. So if you eat every food on this list and sit in a chair all day, you will not build muscle. You will make expensive urine. The protein and the load are not 2 separate pieces of advice. They are one piece of advice with 2 halves, and neither half works alone. I have made videos on exactly this, the exercises you can do from a chair and the ones you can do lying in bed before your feet touch the floor. 10 minutes, no equipment. If you have not seen them, watch one after this, because that is the other half of what I am telling you today. Marjorie. Let me tell you about someone I will call Marjorie. She is a blend of several patients I have cared for, so nobody's privacy is on the line, but I have watched this happen more times than I can tell you. Marjorie was 74, widowed, living alone, and she came in pleased with herself because she had lost 18 pounds over about 2 years, and everybody in her life had told her how well she looked. Her daughter was delighted. Her doctor had said nothing to worry her, and she had done it honestly. She was eating less. That was the whole method. Cereal in the morning, a sandwich or some soup at midday, and in the evening, well, she told me the truth, which is that cooking a proper meal for one person feels like a joke, so most nights it was toast or a bit of cheese, or she just did not bother. 18 pounds gone. Then I asked her to stand up out of the chair without using her hands, and she could not do it. That was the moment, and I have had it more than once. She had not lost 18 pounds of fat. She had lost a good deal of muscle because she had been running a mild protein famine for 2 years with nothing asking her body to hold on to anything, and the body is ruthlessly efficient. It will not pay to maintain tissue nobody is using. The scale went down. Everyone applauded. And what walked out was a frailer woman than the one who walked in. Now I am going to be honest with you about what happened, because I always am. We did not fix this in a fortnight. Muscle comes back slowly at 74, far more slowly than it went, and I would never promise you otherwise. But we changed 2 things. cottage cheese and berries every single morning, which she genuinely disliked for about 2 weeks and then stopped noticing, and 10 minutes of chair work a day. About 4 months later, she stood up out of my chair without her hands and did not notice she had done it. She was mid-sentence. That is the part I remember. She did not notice. The scale, by the way, had gone up by about 3 pounds, and she was, in every way that matters, a stronger and safer person than the woman everyone had congratulated. The honest caution: before I let you go, the part I would say in my own office. If you have kidney disease, this video is not for you without your doctor. This one matters, and I need you to hear it. Protein is processed through your kidneys, and if they are already struggling, more protein is not a neutral thing. Anyone with reduced kidney function needs a protein target set by their own doctor, and it may be lower than what I have described here, not higher. Do not take a general video as permission. Ask. Go up gradually. If you have been eating very little protein for years, tripling it tomorrow will upset your stomach. Add it a meal at a time over a couple of weeks. Drink water. More protein means more water. This is doubly true after 60, when your thirst signal is not what it was, and do not use this as permission for processed meat. The bacon and the sausage are a different category with different evidence. Fresh and lean is the point. If you are losing weight without trying, that is not a success. That is a symptom. Unintentional weight loss in an older adult is something to see your doctor about, not something to be pleased with. That one matters. Recap. So there they are, 5 foods every day for muscle. Number 5, beans and lentils, cheap and good, just not the whole job. Number 4, eggs, near perfect protein, soft, cheap, and no longer the villain anyone told you they were. Number 3, Greek yogurt or cottage cheese, and the real lesson, which is that you do not have a quantity problem, you have a shape problem, and your breakfast is where you fix it. Number 2, fatty fish, the one that turns the hearing aid up so the muscle can hear the rest. And number 1, lean meat and poultry, the loudest doorbell there is, and the thing your generation was wrongly taught to be frightened of. And here is what I actually want you to take away, and it is one sentence. Stop asking the scale how you are doing. It has never once told you anything useful about whether you will be carrying your own groceries at 85. It cannot tell the 2 women at the start of this video apart, and neither can your doctor's chart, and neither can your daughter, who thinks you look wonderful. Ask a better question instead. Can you get out of a chair without your hands? That is your real number. That is the one that decides everything. Now, I have told you what to build with, but bricks with no builder is just a pile in the yard, and I meant that. Everything in this video does nothing at all unless something is asking your muscle to work. I made a video on 5 exercises you can do sitting in a chair in about 10 minutes before your coffee is finished. No floor, no equipment, nothing to buy. That is the other half of today. Go watch that one next, because on its own, this one is only half a plan. I will put it right here on the screen. I am Dr. Patterson. Stop feeding the scale, feed the muscle. I will see you there.